Hey YouTube, it's your girl Razia J and I'm back with another video. If this is your very first time landing on my channel and seeing my face, welcome. And if you have been rocking with Ray, thank you so much for your continual support. Guys, I wanted to come in really quickly and do this video. It's very impromptu and it's probably going to go up ASAP so that I actually get it up and out. Wait. Hi, buddy. Hi. So yes, guys, my phone just reminded me to do some mindfulness, and I went ahead and I did that. And I think that it was really on time for it to remind me to do that because I have been dealing with some anxiety since I finished my classes. I officially have all my grades in. I know my GPA. I am moving on to the next step, which is graduation in 7 days or 9 days, 7 or 8 days. I can't really remember. And my son is sitting right down here. So I'm hoping that the sound is good and you guys are really hearing me and not picking up his iPad. I don't even know where to begin. But this video is for anyone who has ever dealt, is dealing with, or will potentially one day deal with this topic. And the topic is imposter syndrome. I know that sometimes when you think about YouTube and you think about this platform and you think about this space, it can seem a little mundane or scripted because we come on here and talk about things that we think you want to hear. And we oftentimes talk about the highlight reels. And I think that it's really important for us to talk about what's really going on in our day-to-day lives and how we are navigating through those things. So this video is going to be about post-graduation, how I'm navigating, how I'm feeling, and more importantly, what I am dealing with right now. So if you are a recent graduate, if you are a soon to be recent graduate, if you are not a graduate, if you, baby, can you lower the volume? It's loud, okay? Okay, good. If you are a recent graduate, if you, no, don't kick that. Give me a second. Yes, guys, I'm back. So like I was saying, I think that imposter syndrome is something that we don't talk about. And recently, I have been dealing with a lot of imposter syndrome just when it comes to how I navigate spaces. And I just started doing some research and some digging on things that can help me, books that have been helping me navigate through this season. So I really wanted to come in here and just talk and have a heart to heart with you guys of how I've been feeling. My last day of class and internship was May 1st. I did go into internship May 2nd and 3rd, but it's been a few days since I have been at internship, and it's been 2 weeks about. And I had so much expectations for myself leaving graduate school, and then the imposter syndrome came in. So if you guys want to just sit back, relax, and hear my heart about imposter syndrome, then stay tuned. Imposter syndrome in a nutshell basically means that you believe that you are a fraud and you are constantly walking on these eggshells that you are creating for yourself, trying to tell yourself that eventually people will find out that you are not who you say you are and everything will crumble before you. Because I am a true facilitator and I do want to teach one day, I think that it's very important to bring out definitions and know what something really means and what Webster says or what the definition is. So imposter syndrome refers to an internal experience of believing that you are not as competent as others perceive you to be. And most times this revolves around your perception of yourself, and it's seen highly in your professional career or your academic career or anything that you are doing where you are being or doing something based on who you are, and you start to navigate through those spaces as if you don't know what you're doing or that you're not as competent as you are. And I think for me, it's a little bit harder. Sorry guys, I wholeheartedly believe that this is a topic that I need to be talking about today. The imposter syndrome. Let me just make sure my mic is locked and loaded. And let me just fix this camera real quick. Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that this is a topic that I need to be talking about because I have had so many things happen to my camera just in the span of time of me trying to record this. So I feel like this is something I need to talk about. So basically, imposter syndrome is what I defined earlier before my camera cut off. If anything was missing, basically imposter syndrome is when you feel like you're not adequate enough or you don't feel like you're good enough to do the things that you are doing. And I think that when it comes to college graduates, you know what, let me redefine that because I don't know what happened or where it cut off and I didn't check. So imposter syndrome is the internal experience of believing that you are not as competent as others perceive you to be. This is all internal. Imposter syndrome is not about what people say to you. It's not about microaggression or anything like that. It's about what you feel internally about yourself and your work ethic or what you are producing at work or your grades or whatever it is, right? Or feeling like you don't belong at a table when you are the table. And I walk around with a lot of confidence, but I think the last month of graduate school, I started to really start feeling like, am I good enough? Do I belong here? Should I get opportunities presented to me or should it go to someone else? I started internalizing what others would have said to me when I was younger. Growing up, I was always told that, you know, like you're an Oreo or you are like the palatable Black person. And I think it was because of the spaces that I was privileged to be a part of and the opportunities, whether that was going to good schools or my parents just pushing me academically and making sure that I was on top of my A game. It really just opened up doors for me. And I have a hard time grappling with the reality of just saying Razia is good just by being Razia. And if you know anything about CBT, you know that it's about your core belief of yourself and changing the way that you see yourself or changing the negative self-talk or the negative thoughts about yourself and creating new ones to help you to become a better person. It's a modality that they use in therapy for like anxiety or phobias, basically just to teach you to cognitively in your brain see things in a different way so that your behavior can match. And I started just thinking about like graduation and how graduation season could really be a touchy season for graduates, right? Because we graduate and we have these expectations that we should be doing certain things or we should be making certain marks in the world or that we should have a job or we should be making this dollar amount or we should be recognized or we should have a 4.0. And these are all expectations that are amazing expectations, but they're also they're also expectations that we put on ourselves that if they don't happen, we start to question if we are good enough. And I know for me, especially going into the macro setting of social work, like I don't see a lot of people that look like me, that is melanated like me, talking about that they want to do policy work, they want to get into legislative work, they want to get into work that is non-clinical. And I think realizing that I was leaving or shifting from student to professional, and now my career is about to take off in front of me, I started second guessing myself, like, should I just be like a clinician? And it didn't make it any better that I was getting a lot of job offers for clinical things. And although I was thankful for job opportunities and for going to interviews and crushing it and getting recognized for my skill set, my brain, and for my personality and what I can bring to a table, but they were all career paths that was so far away from what I wanted to do that I started to question, like, do I even deserve a seat in the macro table? And that's why I'm doing this video, because I want a new graduate to know that it's okay if everything is not lining up the way that you expected it to. It's okay if life is happening and it's happening at a speed faster than you expected, or if it's happening slower than you expected. Give yourself a pat on the back for mastering it or getting that degree, whether that's a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or a doctorate's degree, whatever degree it is, pat yourself on the back for getting it. And then take a deep breath and allow yourself to feel how you feel. And I think that we often forget that it's okay to feel. It's okay to be human. And I think especially going into a field like social work, or if you're in any service field, whether that's nursing or psychology or, you know, anything that deals with people, we often think that we cannot feel, like we are not allowed to feel. I am not a superhero. I am not a superhuman. I am just a person with a big heart and a big passion to see change. And that's all I want to do. But that doesn't negate the fact that I have feelings and that I'm going to feel things. I'm going to feel a thing or two. And I felt like as I was thinking about doing this video, I knew I had to just come on here and do it and put it out there to tell other graduates that it's okay. If you got a job offer and it aligns with your dreams and your goals, kick it out the park. And if you are still looking for a job, or if you don't know what your next step is, or if you're not sure, or if you are just feeling anxious, overwhelmed, or like, man, I don't belong here, I should not be in the position that I think I should be in, it's okay. Take a moment, do some affirmations, and tell yourself that you are good enough. I literally had to start telling myself affirmations a few days ago because I had to remind myself that yes, I went to school, but I also studied to show myself approved. And I think that oftentimes I have some notes down here that I want to share, that when it comes to graduates, we start to feel uncertainty or self-doubt, right? Because for me, I know that I haven't worked in the field of social work. I am coming with a lot of internship experience and academic experience. So theory and practice, but no real experience in the field. And that can cause you to have self-doubt, right? Coming into a field, knowing that somebody else's choices or somebody else's next steps, or if you are going into therapy, right? Someone else's treatment plan is in your hand. It's a lot to consider, right? And I think as graduates, we don't look at our achievements, especially when they are in the academic realm, as achievements. I literally had to start writing the things that I did in my internships, and both of them. So that's 2 years of internships. I had to start writing down the things that I did and reciting them to myself so I can see them as things that I did, things that I accomplished, accomplishments, right? So that I can start saying, okay, I am skilled in this. And even in the areas that I am not skilled in or I'm not an expert at, I feel like I'm going into a field that I'm hoping has a lot of grace and that I can learn along the way. I remember that I always tell myself, if someone does not die, then I still have time to get it right. And I tell myself this in a spiritual aspect, right? When I'm dealing with the young adults at my church or the kids ministry at my church, when I'm giving them advice, right? I tell myself all the time, it's okay if the first thing that you told them to try, the first attempt, does not work, as long as they're alive, right? Because you have more opportunities. And that might sound crazy, but death is a final thing. It's final, right? And as long as we're breathing and we're living and we're smiling and we're laughing and we're crying and we have flow of oxygen in this body, we have another chance to get it right. So if you just graduated and you feel like you are dealing with imposter syndrome, I do want to share some affirmations with you that you can take along your journey, and you can remind yourself that you too are worth everything that you have put into your education and into your lived experiences. So the first affirmation is, I am worthy of being noticed and acknowledged. I am worthy of being noticed and acknowledged. And I had to start telling myself that, because it's okay for people to notice you and see the good in you, right? It's okay for people to say, wow, you are something else. Like, you are phenomenal. Like, there's something about you that I know that I need you on my team. It's okay. The second thing you need to tell yourself is, it's okay if I don't get it right. And the reason why I put this in there, because it's okay, especially if you are dealing with imposter syndrome. That means that you probably deal with some form of perfectionism, right? You always want things to be perfect. You want things to be in one particular way. And telling yourself, it's okay if I don't get it right, gives you the grace and it gives you the freedom to just live and live life to the best and fullest of your ability. And the third and last one I want to share, and this one is a very big one. It's very near and dear to my heart. And it's one that I say every morning now, and I probably should start saying it every night. Every opportunity that is promised for Razia is coming to her. So you would say, every opportunity that is promised to me is coming to me. And the reason why I started saying that is because it really allowed me to take a deep breath and not worry about anything, because whatever is for me is coming to me. So until next time, I hope that this video found you in good spirits. And if you are anything like me and dealing with imposter syndrome, I hope that you know that it is okay to tell yourself that you're dealing with it. And it's also okay to give yourself the grace to overcome whatever it is that you are going through. And if you are a new graduate, your hard work in school is going to pay off in your profession. So give yourself a pat on the back. You did it. Congratulations. And we are all rooting for you. So until next time, guys, peace.